Hello friends, vinyl community, music lovers, welcome to a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I talk about new vinyl purchases that I've recently listened to or records pulled from my inbox that I cleaned up, gave a listen to, and this is where I decide whether I want to keep them or not. I give you a bit of information about each one, how I like, whether I like the music or not, kind of what it sounds like, what other kind of things might be related to it, and maybe you'll be interested in some of these yourself. As with the last episode, I didn't mention it in the video, but I did put an annotation. I created a Spotify playlist of, well, in this episode, 8 of the albums were on Spotify, so there is a Spotify playlist of the complete 8 albums. I will tell you the 2 that aren't on Spotify, so you'll know ahead of time, but most of these are on Spotify. I created a playlist, they're all there. I will put a link in the show notes below to that playlist. I love Spotify, I've been using it more and more lately. A really good way to sort of sample new music that you see, rather than try to go find a clip on YouTube or something. It's really nice to be able to go onto Spotify and just have the whole album right there and be able to stream it. So that's awesome. So that's a new feature to the show. Hope you enjoy that, hope you make some use of that. And so let's go ahead and get into it. First thing we have to talk about today is a piece of electronic music from Patrick Cowley. This is entitled School Days. Patrick Cowley was an electronic musician in the late 70s, early 80s. Ended up working in the gay porn industry and making soundtracks to gay porn, but this music is just better and so far above most porn music. You know, it's very good. It's very interesting. It's very just creative. And love this album. Want to find some more of his stuff. He did this. 2013 is when this was released. So a really nice 2 LP set collection of tracks here. Get a print of the cover of the movie School Days. And then as I said, it's a 2 LP set on Dark Entries Records, just plain black vinyl, sort of a medium weight kind of vinyl, not any super heavy pressing or anything, but just really nicely pressed collection of ambient electronic soundscape kind of work that's really intriguing and really interesting. So if you like that kind of stuff, I definitely can recommend Patrick Cowley. Alright, moving on to some classical music. This is the Deutsche Grammophon release of Don Quixote by the Berlin Philharmonic. And yeah, just a classic piece of classical music. Really, as usual, Deutsche Grammophon are very high quality recordings, high quality pressings. They're definitely worth picking up when you see them. Pressed in Germany. Another one of the reasons why these are such high quality is just the German pressings are almost always really nice, really well done, really quiet. Beautiful job. This is a beautiful German pressing from 1966 when this was released, and sounds amazing. And yeah, even that one was on Spotify, so go check it out. Alright, this next one is one of the ones that's not on Spotify. This is the soundtrack to Back to the Future, so you know, this really doesn't need to be Spotified. I'm sure most people have seen this movie at some point and kind of know the music. You know, you got Huey Lewis and the News and sort of the cover band, or not the cover band, but the sort of fake band that was in the movie. And you know, they do Johnny Be Good and stuff like that. You got Eric Clapton here. Lindsey Buckingham is on here. Just a classic 80s movie. One of my favorites of all time, and glad to have this on vinyl and in the collection. And it's on the MCA Rainbow label. Just a fun soundtrack to put on and sort of relive the film a little bit. That's the one thing I like about soundtracks, is you can just put them on and sort of have a quick way to relive the film without actually sitting down and watching it. Okay, next thing I have to talk about was a very controversial release from last year, and something that shouldn't be that controversial. I just don't understand. There's some people who just, when it comes to music, they just totally lose it when, you know, somebody works with a certain kind of artist or something that they don't like, and it just, I don't understand it. But anyway, this is the Flaming Lips with a little help from my friends. There was also some backlash based on, you know, the holy Beatles, you know, how dare you touch the Beatles and whatever, and I just I don't get it. This is a really fun remake of Sgt. Pepper, and it's just they're having fun here. It's I don't understand the hate. Yes, Miley Cyrus is on here. She does a good job. She's not twerking all over the thing. She's just singing. She's, you know, I don't understand, you know. It's just music is supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and this is just sort of a fun modern psychedelic take on a 50-year-old psychedelic album, you know. It's like I don't understand all the hate and backlash, but I really thoroughly enjoy this. Listen to it a lot. You know, at this point I've heard Sgt. Pepper so many times that I'd rather listen to this than the original. Maybe that's sacrilegious, I don't know, but it is what it is anyway. Really fun album from the Flaming Lips. They join up with a lot of different people besides just Miley Cyrus. You got J Mascis, My Morning Jacket, Moby is on here, Pussifier, Foxygen, Tegan and Sarah. Just a really cool collection of artists getting together, having fun, making just a really cool freak out psychedelic album, and I'm sure there were a lot of drugs involved in the making of this, and it was just a fun, good time, and it turned out really well, I think. That's what I have to say about it. The artwork is just awesome on this, super explosively colorful and psychedelic, and then the album itself is on this cool neon orange vinyl. So yeah, Flaming Lips with a little help from my friends. I love it. It's absolutely going in my collection. One of my favorites from last year, and like it a lot. Alright, the next album I have to talk about is the other album that is not on Spotify. This is a Christmas album, so this is Man on the Moog playing Switched on Santa, taking a cue from that Switched on Bach sort of thing where they were doing, you know, synthesizer versions of classical music. This is synthesizer versions of traditional Christmas songs. It sounds the way you'd expect it to be. It's kind of almost like a very electronic instrumental Christmas album. It's just pretty interesting and unique and different. I can see where this is kind of going to be a niche kind of thing. Some people are going to be really turned off by this. It can sound almost like elevator music at times, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. Actually found this copy sealed at the library sale a couple years ago. Finally just got around to spinning this this year at Christmas time, and really enjoyed having this one. This is on the Pickwick label. Not necessarily a real high quality label to begin with. Not exactly the quietest pressing, I guess I could say. It's a little bit noisy, but just a fun piece of electronic music to have in the Christmas collection. So that's Switched on Santa, Man. That one's going to be staying in the collection as well. Alright, next thing we have is an album from Pink Floyd from 1983. This is their album, The Final Cut. Really cool album here. Something I hadn't heard in a long time. I don't think I have this on CD. I think I had it on cassette at one point a long time ago. Haven't really listened to it in a long time. Really enjoyed sort of revisiting this. Really nice piece of music having to do with World War II, I think. Don't know too much of the history on this, but just a really cool Pink Floyd album from that wall period of time of work, and really nice music here. Really enjoyed this one. Nice custom labels on this one, mastered at the mastering lab. So yeah, if you kind of like that later Pink Floyd stuff, Roger Waters and David Gilmour kind of sound, check this one out. It's a good one, and not too hard to find. See this one pretty often for only a few dollars, so definitely one to check out. Alright, next thing I have here is a 12-inch single from Oingo Boingo. This is a 12-inch single to Dead Man's Party from Back to School. Cool, nice little gold stamp promo there. And you just got Dead Man's Party, Party to Your Dead mix on one side, and Stay Late mix on the other side. Both Oingo Boingo's tracks. Don't know if Stay is in the movie or not. but Dead Man's Party, of course, is just a nice, another one of those rainbow MCA labels. And don't normally keep 12-inch singles, but this one has a nice picture sleeve to it. It's a song I really like, so with that being that, I'm gonna keep this one in the collection. All right, next thing we have is the I guess you call it sludge metal release from the band Earth from 2014. This is their release from last year. Primitive and Deadly, more very sludgy, slowed down metal. Really interesting genre of metal that I really like, really enjoy. I definitely enjoyed this album quite a bit. Beautiful packaging as usual. They are on the Southern Lord label. They do a really good job. Nice Stoughton jackets on these. It has this sort of rubberized textured cover. I think Jack White did this, and I've seen some other artists use this as well. It just has a really nice feel to it. Just really nice quality packaging on this one, and the music is just, once again, very beautiful. It's just weird how it's playing something that slow, even though it's noisy and scratchy and grungy and dirty and, you know, overmodulated at times. It just sounds really good slowed down, and just brings sort of a melodic, sort of interesting sound and feeling to it. Very emotional and interesting music. So Earth's Primitive and Deadly, definitely a recommended 2 LP set. This is just the black vinyl version. I believe they did do a colored vinyl special edition. Southern Lord usually does have a special edition over you know, their releases. Just got this one as a normal issue. So Earth, Primitive and Deadly from 2014, another one going in the collection. Really enjoyed this one, and I've been picking up Earth's albums ever since I started with Angels of Darkness, Demon Delight 1, and been picking them up ever since. So this is the one from 2014. Really good. Alright, next thing I have to talk about today is an album from Donovan from 1968. This is his album Hurdy-Gurdy Man. Definitely a classic, well-known song. This is the 6th studio album from Donovan, and yeah, just some great poppy, singer-songwritery kind of music here. John Bonham plays drums on a track on here, and supposedly Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones also play on here, although they are uncredited. So that's a little bit of history on that one, and that is on the Epic Yellow label. 1A stampers on both sides of this one, so that's pretty cool. This is, I'm guessing, a first pressing. Don't know for sure, haven't researched it, but really cool nonetheless. Really enjoyable album. Like I said, sort of poppy, singer-songwritery kind of stuff. Most people know Donovan, even if they don't know Donovan. That one's on the playlist also, so check it out. And lastly, but not leastly, we have sort of a blues rock album from Savoy Brown. This is Hellbound Train. What the date on this one is, somewhere around 1970, I'm guessing. Very much a blues rock kind of sound here. Cool little graphic story in here by David Ansley. And it's on the Parrot label, shared with Tom Jones. So you find Tom Jones on this label as well. But the standout track on here is definitely the title track, Hellbound Train. It goes for 9 or 10 minutes. Just a killer track there. The rest of this album is pretty good, but definitely the title track stands out on here as something really awesome and excellent, and a good reason to keep this album. So Savoy Brown's Hellbound Train, like I said, really like the title track a lot, and like the rest of the album enough to keep it. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. All of them survived. All of them were really enjoyable albums, and something I will want to revisit again in the future. So for that reason, they're going to be keepers for me. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. Please subscribe if you're not already, and you'll be kept up to date when I release new episodes. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day, and see you again next time. Cheers.